Hello again, my name's Gabe Zollner. Have you sort of noticed how the Fox talking heads seem to be doing one of these? Yeah, they're doing one of these when they talk about the polls. And they talk about how Dr. Ben Carson is now the front runner in many of the polls. You know, I told you a while ago, quite a while ago, before the Donald came on the scene, that I thought Carson would be ideal. And then I told you that I thought he'd be an ideal vice president. And then I told you that I thought he'd be neither. The reason I thought he'd be neither is that he seems not to be able to have let go of what many blacks seem not to be able to let go of, which is the way they were treated in the early 60s and prior. I had nothing to do with any of that. You know, I remember when Kennedy was killed in '63, the very next day, a buddy and I drove his brand new Corvette Stingray. We did Route 66 to Florida. I think I made mention of this in one of my previous videos. We were in the Carolinas, I believe it was South Carolina, and we pulled into a restaurant, and they had a sign on the window and on the door, "No blacks allowed." Now, coming from Canada, I had a difficult time understanding why they would have a sign like that. So my buddy and I went into the restaurant, we ordered some breakfast, and the waitress was African American. And I asked one of the rednecks as to what's with the sign and what's with the waitresses being African American. And he said, well, yeah, they can serve us, but they sure as hell can't eat with us. They eats in the kitchen. And then he said something that really disturbed me. He said, if you're walking down the sidewalk and one of these black folk are approaching you, if they don't get off and stand on the curb, you spit in their face. Now, that's the way it was. I had nothing to do with the way it was. But I can understand people that were born earlier and lived throughout that era have a hard time letting go. Barack Hussein Obama is one of those that has a hard time letting go. And sadly, based on what Dr. Carson wrote, and based on what I believe he has for affiliation with the Reverend Al Sharpton, he's not the right guy. And I'm just hoping that the American people wake up and realize that. And again, this is all predicated on the chosen one leaving. With his ego being what it is, I don't see that happening. Do you?